Good afternoon, all. My name is Babu from CSM Department, Marri Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. As I am discussing about the cellular systems in a mobile computing. In the earlier videos, we have started about the mobile computing, applications of mobile computing and all. And the next now we are discussing about a cellular systems in mobile computing. What is meant by cellular systems in a mobile computing? As we all know, cellular means what? It is a mobile phones. How it has to be working and how we are sending a data means what? Data means it may be a voice or else it may be a SMS or else it may be an audio or video through a wireless connections. So for that we can call it as a cellular system. Cellular system means what? A cellular system in a mobile communication divides a large area into a smaller cells, each with a low power base station or else a cell tower. For example, network tower should be there. For that, we can call it as a cell tower to serve mobile devices, enabling efficient frequencies, reuse, and seamless hands-offs of users move connecting them to the telephone network via a central mobile switching office. The mobile switching office is nothing but a MTSO. For that, we can call it as a mobile switching office. So for wide area coverage and data services, and this one is the architecture of cellular systems. So this is the mobile station and this is the base transceiver station and this is the mobile switching center. So this is the mobile switching center, base transceiver station. For this we can call it as a network, and this is the mobile phone, right? This is the architecture of a cellular systems. So next, coming to the key components of cellular systems. First one is what? Mobile unit, and the next is cell site, and this mobile unit is means what? Your device with the transceiver and antenna. Cell site BTS means in earlier we have said that BTS means what? The full form of BTS is base transceiver station, right? So in BTS cell site or else a base stations, antenna and control unit for cell communicating with mobile and MTSO. MTSO means what? Mobile telephone switching office, right? These all are the key components of cellular systems. Next, how it works, or else the cellular concept, how it is. The cellular concept is, what is that? So cellular concept is cellular structure, frequency reuse, base station communication, handoff or else a handover, and the next one is MTSO. MTSO is what? It is the mobile telephone switching office. So what is that cellular structure? Cellular structure means what? A large service area in split into a smaller manageable cells. Cellular structure means what? A large service area is split into a smaller manageable cells. It has to be divided into a cells. In that cells there are two types. One is micro cells and another one is macro cells. Right? Next, frequency reuse. Frequency reuse means what? Neighboring cells use different frequencies, but distant cells can reuse the same frequencies, greatly increasing the capacity of the frequency. The next one is base station communication. What is that? Base station communication is each cell has base station that handles cells within its cell using a radio channels. Base station means what? It is a network tower. Through that only we are communicating number of telephones or through the frequency or else through the radio signals. And the next one is handover. As you move the system seamlessly transfers your call from one cell stations to another, for that from macro cell to a micro cell without dropping the call. While we are for example, we are moving from one place to another place, at that time we are talking in the phone, or else we are discussing something in the phone, from we are moving from one place to another place, at that time it has to be a base station also has to be changed, right? But we are not sitting in the constant, and we are not using that only one base station, or else we are not getting the signals from the one station. While we are moving from one place to another place, at that time the base station has to be changed, right? At that time what it is, the frequency, or else the radio signals has to be, we are saying that first, in the first point, split into a smaller cells, right? In that smaller cells there are two types. One is macro cell, and another one is a micro cell, macro cell and a micro cell. While we are moving from one place to another place, in between we are discussing something in that, so it has to be changing the base station. At that time the cells also has to be changed, it has to be a macro cell, or else it has to be a micro cell, right? Next is mobile telephone switching office. All cell sites connect to the mtso. See, in the architecture we have shown that mobile switching center, right? So all mtso has to be connect to the mobile switching center, which routes calls, landlines or other mobile users. From this mobile switching center only, it has to be, the calls has to be a landline calls, or else it may be it has to be giving a routes to the calls, or else a landlines, or else other mobile users, only by using this mobile switching center. So this is the architecture, right? And coming to the next, GSM. Earlier we are now we are using that GSM. GSM means, what is the full form of GSM? GSM means a global system for mobile communication. So nowadays we are using with a SIM card. We are using a GSM SIM card, right? GSM full form is what? Global system for mobile communication. Mobile communication. For this we can call it as a GSM. But before GSM, earlier we are using one more technology, that is what? A CDMA. This is the CDMA. CDMA means what? Earlier we are using a mobile phones without a SIM card, or else we are having both CDMA as well as GSM. GSM means what? It is a SIM card. In this, inserting the SIM card, for that we are call it as a GSM SIM card. GSM means global system for mobile communication. And in the before, earlier, without SIM card also we are using a telephones. For example, we are taking that earlier we are using a CDMA telephones, like Reliance CDMA phones should be there. In that there is no SIM card. In that inbuilt one number is there. So by using that only we are transferring information from, or else we are audio, video, or else it may be an call, or it may be XYZ. We are doing by using a CDMA. CDMA means what? Code division multiple access. Nowadays the CDMA SIM cards, nobody is using the CDMA SIM cards. All we are using that GSM SIM cards. GSM means what? A global system for mobile communication. So this is the architecture of GSM. In that, one is mobile station is there, first one, and the second one is base subsystem, and the third one is what? Network subsystem. So in GSM architecture there are three parts. One is mobile station, another one is base substation, and another third one is a network substation, right? GSM means what? Is GSM architecture. This is the GSM architecture. In that there are three substations. One is mobile station, another one is a base substation, and the network substation. So GSM is what? GSM architecture is a layered system for 2G mobile communication, primarily divided into a mobile station. Divided into a mobile station. So, mobile station, the base substation, and the network switching substation. Next, the for this we can call it as a GSM architecture, right? So it uses a TDMA for efficiency and GMSK modulation, managing voice or a data or via cells, base station and controllers for all routing, authentication and handovers, enabling the global roaming. So for this is GSM. GSM architecture is a layered system for 2G mobile communication, primarily divided into the mobile station and the base station subsystem, and the network switching subsystem. So, and the operation support subsystem, it uses a TDMA. TDMA full form is what? Time division multiple axis. It uses a TDMA for efficiency and GMSK modulation, managing voice or data via cells, using a base station and a controllers for call routing, authentication and handovers, enabling a global roaming. Key components of GSM, key components of global system for mobile communication. First one is mobile station, and the second one is, earlier we have discussed in that architecture only, right? Base subsystem and the network subsystem. First one is what? Mobile station, and the second one is base station subsystem, and the third one is network switching subsystem, and the fourth one is operation support subsystem. What is in the mobile station? The user device consisting of the handset and the SIM card. SIM card means SIM. What is the full form of SIM? Is subscriber identity module, that stores users information in SIM card, that stores the information for the users. And the second one is base station subsystem. Base station subsystem is what? Manages the radio interface. Manages the radio interface. And the next one, base transceiver station, handles ratio transmission reception with mobile device or else a cell tower. And next one is base station controller, controls multiple BTS, managing radio resources and handovers between cells. And the third one is network switching subsystems. Network switching subsystem is what? The core network for all switching and a mobility management. What happens in the network mass switching subsystem? It has to be a cell switching and a mobility management has to be happen in the network switching subsystem. Next is mobile switching center, the central switch routing calls and managing a services like authentication. And the next one is database home location register. For that, we can call it as a HLR, means home location register, and a visitor location register, VLR, track subscriber locations by using a authentication center, means we can call it as a AUC, handles a security purpose. And the last one is operation support subsystem, manages network operations, maintenance and administration. In operation support subsystems, what happens? Manages network operations, maintenance and administration has to be done in the operation support subsystem. Key technologies of GSM is, first one is TDMA, time division multiple access. Earlier we have said it divides channels into the time slots. It divides channels into time slots, allowing multiple users on the frequency. So time division multiple access, what happens? It has to be divided into a time slots, and then it has to be allowing multiple users on the frequency. For that we can call it as a time division multiple access in the radio signals. So next one is GMSK. GMSK means what? It has a Gaussian minimum shift keying. For that, a modulation technique for efficient spectrum use, means a upcoming modulation technique for efficient spectrum use. For that, we are saying that GMSK full form is what? A Gaussian minimum shift keying. And the next one is SIM card. Secures user identity for authentication. Secures user identity for authentication. For that, we can call it as a SIM card, right? Next one is, what are the services we are using in the GSM? What are the services we are using in the GSM services? So key services are, first one is teleservices. Teleservices we are using, right, in the GSM services. And the next one is bearer services. And the third one is supplementary services. So let us discuss what are the three services we are using in a GSM. First one is what? Teleservices. Teleservices means what it is. For what reason we are call it as a teleservices? Primarily voice and messaging. In teleservices, primarily we are using a voice and messaging, and next voice calls, and the next short message services, and the next one is fax, video, or else a text. For that, we are using a teleservices. First one is what? We are using a voice and messaging, and the next is voice calls, and next is short messages, and next is fax, or else it may be a video, right? For that, we can call it as a teleservices. And the next one is bearer services. Bearer services means what? For what bearer services? Bearer services means data services for data transmission. For that, we are using a second service, that is what? A bearer services. In that bearer services, circuit switch data and a enhanced data rate should be there. First one is circuit switched data, is that what? Original GSM data rate up to 9.6 kbps, supporting fax and basic data. And the next one is enhanced data rates, is what? High speed circuit switched data and a GPRS, improved speeds for mobile internet. For that, we can say that enhanced data rates. And the third one is supplementary services. Supplementary services means what? What are the supplementary services should be there in the GSM services? Added features for call management, right? Additional feature it is. Supplementary services means what? It is a additional features in that. So in that, call forwarding, call waiting, call hold, bearing, caller identification, and a conference calling, and a closed user group. Nowadays, all we know about what is that call waiting, what is that call hold, what is that bearing, what is that call forwarding, what is meant by caller identification. Nowadays, we are using a true caller for caller identification, right? And the next one is conference calling, and as well as a closed user groups. Right? These all are the supplementary services. Teleservices means what? First one is teleservices, right? Teleservices means what? Primarily we are using for voice and messaging, right? And the next one is bearer services. In that, bearer services is what? For transferring a data. For data transmission, we are using a second one, that is what? A bearer services. And the next one is comes to the GSM security. What are the securities in GSM? So next comes to the GSM security. The wireless radio medium is open to all. Being a wireless network, GSM is also sensitive to unauthorized use of resources. GSM offers a precise security measures, some of which maintains privacy and confidentiality of users' identity and data, while others ensure that only registered users access the network. This model provides detailed discussion of GSM security mechanisms and their implementation. Right? In this, what we are discussing is what is that GSM security and what are the security mechanisms should be there in the GSM. For that, we are discussing next one, right? So in this, first one is goals of security features, of GSM. First one. Second one is introduction to principle of security, namely access control, anonymity authentication, and encryption. And the third one is understanding security algorithms and mechanisms provided by the GSM. These three should be there in the GSM security. First one is goals of security features in a GSM, and the next one is introduction to principle of security, namely access control, anonymity, authentication, and encryption. And the third one is understanding of security algorithms and a mechanism provided by the GSM. These three are the GSM security. In the next video, we can discuss about what is that GSM security and what are the principles of GSM security and what are the rules of GSM security. In the next class, we will discuss. Thank you.